My name's Rohit, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my best productivity tips that help me avoid procrastination. Let's get into it. Procrastination not only kills your motivation to study, but it also makes the things that you have to do take a lot longer than they have to. That's why being able to time manage is so important, because it not only frees up a lot more extra time to do things that you actually want to do instead of studying all day, but it also makes you feel a lot better since you're not always stressed and feeling, oh, I have to do this and this and this. The three main tips I use is to first plan out your day, second, to give yourself a set amount of time to do each task within a reasonable amount, and the third is to get the easy tasks out of the way with first, and I'll explain why these work so well. The first and perhaps the most important part of avoiding procrastination and becoming more productive is to plan out your day the night before. Every night before you go to sleep, write out your commitments for the next day and where you have to be. For example, if you're going to play basketball with your friends, write down the time frame of which you're doing that. This will give you a much clearer picture of what you have to do the next day and what tasks you can reasonably complete. You don't want to write down 20 tasks that you have no reasonable way to accomplish, and you don't want to write out 2 tasks and say, oh, I finished those in the first 30 minutes of the day. I have nothing else to do now. You want to make sure you're being as productive as possible every day. So the way you do this is by having a good picture of what you have to do and where you're going, so you know what task you can do in between. Another reason you want to write down the estimated times for each of the tasks is because then after you finish that work, you can compare with how long it takes and how long you thought it would take. For instance, if you're writing that English paper and it took you 1.5 hours, but you still wrote a quality paper, that means that you're more capable than you thought you were. This is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because you're underestimating yourself. You want to give yourself a time block where you can reasonably do it, but you're also not like, oh, I want to give myself 3 hours when I can do this in 2 hours. Now that you've done it in 1.5 hours, give yourself an hour and a half the next time, because that'll just push you to be more productive and be able to produce a quality paper in less amount of time. This will increase the quality of your work while decreasing the amount of time it takes. You also want to make sure that you're not rushing everything. There's a balance that you have to find in between this. If you have to err or overestimate or underestimate, you should overestimate, because if you underestimate, you're decreasing the quality. But if you're overestimating, you're spending a bit more time, but it also helps you find that equilibrium much easier than if you're underestimating it. This is a good template for the daily plan, as right here it has my commitments for the next day, where I have to be, and then based on that, this is the work I can complete and the tasks I can do, and the time frame for each of them. For an example, between tennis and my lift, I have 7 hours, so I can do something that takes a lot of time, and something that I can get concentrated for, which for tomorrow could be the ACT, right? This takes around 4 hours, so I can reasonably fit that in between these 2 blocks. Remember, time management is not easy. Being more productive is a direct result of being able to manage your time more. It'll take time to build up this skill and level up in this skill, which is an important part of self-improvement, but remember, don't be too hard on yourself. Every day, try to be more productive and more productive and more productive, and do these tips, or whatever tips may work for you better. If you like one of them, take that. Obviously, everybody's different and things will work different for everybody, but don't get disheartened because it's not working for you. Remember, you've been less productive, you've been procrastinating for years. It won't be an easy one-day fix for boom, I'll be productive. Keep on working, and until next time.